Hey everybody, it's Angie Rupert, founder of Rupert Law Group. We handle exclusively E2 and E1 visas, so no matter what treaty country you're from or in what state you want to be, we can help. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Click that little bell so you can always be updated with our new videos. And of course, if you have any friends or family members interested in the E2 or E1 visas, please share these videos with them if you find them useful and helpful, and then we hope that you do. Today, I want to talk about getting an E2 visa, or rather applying for an E2 visa with some sort of retail store. So let's talk a little bit about that, shall we? What is a retail business? So there are a variety of different types that we've helped with, and many more I'm sure we would love to help with. But let's talk about a couple of categories. So one would be exactly as it sounds, a retail shop that sells some sort of inventory, right? Clothes, food, I don't know, candles, what have you, right? Another would be some sort of service. So this could be tutoring or ceramics classes, painting classes, martial arts classes, after school care, language classes, anything like that. Another would be something like hair salons, facials, massages, nail salons, things like that. Those are kind of the general types of retail sales that we see a lot with people who are applying for the E2 visa. So first, the great news, any of those could work, right? As long as you prove all of the requirements of the E2 visas. But we've had many people do retail businesses of all sorts and get approved with E2 visas. So we would love to help you apply for an E2 visa as well. But let's talk a little bit about the challenges or a couple of things to keep in mind whenever you would like to open or buy a retail business and apply for the E2 visa. So number one, if you have retail sales, you're going to need a place, right, for people to come, either to teach them the classes or provide services or to purchase the items that you have in your store. This is great. And for the E2 visa, perfect. So you'd need to find some sort of commercial space. But here's something to keep in mind. If you need to outfit that space in any way, aside from, paint or something very cosmetic like that, you will likely need to get permits in order to do that. And the permits would be issued through the city or the county, depending on, of course, on where that store is going to be located. So sometimes it takes a long time to get the permits, right? It depends a lot on what types of permits you need. And it depends a lot, of course, on the city or the county. But we've had people wait almost a year to get permits. So that's something to consider. Right? That sometimes if you are starting, and particularly starting some sort of retail business, it may take a while not only to locate the location where you want to operate this business, but also to outfit it in the way it needs to be outfitted. Right? So in the case of some sort of ceramic shop or some sort of food service, you may need to put in special plumbing. You may need to put in special electricity. You may need to move things around. You may need to build walls, that type of thing. Please keep that in mind. We've also even had something very simple like a tutoring after school care type program. But when they got the space, this was an actual client, when they got the space, they figured out that they needed to put in the new fire system, right, with the sprinklers and the lights and the different exit signs for fire. They put all of that in. The fire department came in to approve, and they were in a slightly wrong place. They were about 3 feet from where they were supposed to be. So fire department left. They had to have the construction guys come in again, move it, reschedule the fire department. They had to wait a month or two for the fire department to have enough time to come out to check it, and finally got their approval. So keep that in mind. Things like permitting can really extend the time that it takes to get that business to the point that it is operational. Okay, and that's one of the important requirements for the E2 visa. So always keep that in mind. Now, one way you could potentially eliminate some of that is to find a location that did exactly what it was that you wanted to do. So in that case, maybe it already is built out to the specs that you need, and you can always throw a coat of paint on, no permit needed for that. And then you're ready to go, right? So instead of finding a place, if you're going to be running, for instance, a hair salon, and you find a place that used to be just a retail shop, it could take a while to get all the plumbing in that you need for the chairs or for the sinks, and getting the chairs installed and all of the electricity that you're going to need in order to run a salon. But if you want to find a place that used to be a salon and looks pretty close to what it is that you'd like to do this time, throw a coat of paint on it, rent it out, and you're ready to go. Something else to keep in mind, if you find a place that it used to do similar things to what you're doing and you're not in love with it, but it can work for now, go ahead and have the business run for now. Once you get your visa and get here and find out that your business is incredibly successful and profitable, and then you want to do the remodel, you can always do it later. But that may save you a lot on the time that it takes in order to get this business operational, right? One of the E2 visa requirements, real and operating, okay? So in addition to taking extra time for the exact same reasons, sometimes it can take extra money. So renting out a retail space can be more expensive than just like a simple office space, right? So keep that in mind. In addition, if you do have to do any construction, that can get very costly, depending, of course, where you're doing it and what type of construction you're doing. Generally, you need to get permits before you do any sort of construction. And then after that goes, you'll have to wait on the construction crew, right, to finish the work and then to get it signed off by the city or county. So in other words, retail businesses can work beautifully with the E2 visa. And if that is your American dream, we encourage you to open a retail business. However, keep in mind that it may take a little bit longer and have a higher price tag than if you were doing a service-based business where you go to the client. Right? So keep that in mind. One way to eliminate some of the time and expense is to find a retail location that did something very similar to what it is that you would like to do and doesn't really need any sort of additional construction. That will save a lot of time and a lot of money. So anyway, if you would like to talk to us about your retail business idea or any other type of business idea, we would love to speak with you. Give us a call anytime. Our information follows. We'd love to talk with you about your E2 visa.